Hi, welcome to ITC204 Human-Computer Interaction. I'm Peter White and I'll be taking you through this really interesting subject this session. What we're going to look at in 204 is the discipline of the design of user interface. Right, so we'll start looking at what are the various components of human-computer interaction. We'll look at how that works, what are the input-output devices, the styles, how they relate to the context of the design that we're doing. We'll look at the principles of graphic design. We'll look at how we use Windows and user support. We'll look at evaluation and the different types of evaluation. And we'll design and evaluate a user interface. So it's going to be an interesting session. I'm an adjunct lecturer, which means don't work for the university full time. I have another full-time job and I just do this part-time. So the best way to contact me is always by email, pewhite@csu.edu.au. Please put ITC204 in the subject line, or the spam filter will probably knock the message out. It also helps me because I do teach a number of different subjects to identify just which subject you're coming from. Of course, you can always put things on the Interact discussion board because I do review that every couple of days. Interact is our main site for 204, and in here you'll find a whole series of resources. You'll find the topics, which is the study guide, and there'll be a topic for each week. You'll find the subject outline, a sample exam. You'll find the topics will also give you various readings. There are design team sites, and I'll talk about design teams shortly. We have an online meeting each week, and there's a site to go to for that, and a series of articles and a discussion board. So this is the primary place that you'll go to learn about ITC204. So as I said, we have weekly study topics, and these have some information about what you're going to study. It'll refer to the chapter in the book. Then we'll have a series of readings, and perhaps a tutorial, some videos, some activities, perhaps some reading and research requirements that you might need to do. We'll have an online session each Tuesday evening, which will start at 7 PM, 1900 hours, and these sessions will always be recorded. The session will be uploaded, or the recording will be uploaded as an MP4 file about an hour after the session is finished, so it takes about an hour process. We have 5 assessments, including the exam. Okay, the first one is coming up with a design concept. That's an individual assessment. The second one is to develop a design. This is a team assessment. You'll work as a small team to bring design together. The third assignment is a design evaluation. This is again an individual assignment, and you will be, as an individual, evaluating another team's design, and then your evaluation will go back to that team for them to improve that in assignment 4, where they produce, the working prototype. And then finally you have an exam. Now, if you have need to have an extension because something's happening in your life, that's probably not going to be an issue, providing you come to me before the due date. So if you've got a need for an extension, let me know beforehand, not on the date or after the date. Now, as I said, we're going to have some working design teams for a couple of assignments, and this is because in industry, most designers work in a small team, usually of 2 to 4 people. So we'll be using design teams for some of our assignments. And so the beauty of a design team is you can start to share ideas with each other. You can learn from and with each other. And by working together, you can usually come up with a really good design quite quickly by working cooperatively with each other. And so we'll look at how this works. The assessments for the team assessments work as follows. We'll look at your work and assess firstly the quality of the design that you produce as a team. Then we'll look at the quality of the documentation that the team produces to support that design. And then we'll go to each individual and we'll look at your individual contribution to the final outcome from what you've done, and your contributions to the design or your contributions to the documentation and your contributions on the team discussions on your forum. So it means you can't afford to be sitting back till the day or so before the assignment's due to do something. You've actually got to be involved. If there's apparently no effort from you gone into the assignment, then you get no marks. It becomes that simple. So the assignments. Assignment 1, you have been given a case study which will talk about the needs for the thing, for the assignment, or the needs for the interface. and you will have to come up with 2 alternate designs to meet the requirements of this case study. So read through the criteria and have a understand how it works. Assignment 2 is a team assignment. This is now worth 20%. And what your team will do, will take the most promising design from each member of the team, from assignment 1, and you'll start to develop it as a team design. Right? So again, make sure you understand the requirements, the presentation, and the marking criteria. Assignment 3, back to individual. This is now you'll be given as a team, you'll be given another team's design. And individually, you'll have to go and do an evaluation of that for usability. But not only say what's wrong with it, but then you've got to recommend how should it be fixed. Right? Now, this is quite important that you do this professionally, because your assessment will go back to the other team whose design you're assessing, and they will have to take your assessment and your recommendations and look at how they implement that in their design for assignment 4. You'll be in the same boat, because you'll be, getting back comments from other people who have assessed your design and saying, well, this is what we think you should do in order to fix this for the next design. And so then you'll produce a working prototype, and we're using a application called Balsamic Mockups for this, and that will talk you through how to produce a working prototype. And then finally, you'll have a 2-hour exam, which is worth 40%. And this consists basically of a series of short answer questions. They're basically on design, usability theory, and how you do these sorts of things. And then there's a case study problem with 2 main questions. The first question asks you to design an interface to meet that scenario, that case study, and justify your decision according to the principles of design. So that's the first part. The second part asks you to design the usability testing for that interface, and again justify your decisions according to the principles of usability testing. So it's not all that hard. It's stuff you've been doing all the way through, but you've got to think about how you're going to do it and why you're going to do it. What's the principle? So you need to understand those principles. So that's it. This is a really interesting subject. I think you'll find it's a load of fun. If you've got any questions, please send me an email, invite@csu.edu.au, or put a question on the discussion board. I monitor the email from work all the time, and I'm on the discussion board probably 3 or 4 times a week. So don't hold back. If you've got any questions, fire them off at me, and we'll see if we can sort them out for you. And we'll see you shortly. Having a lot of fun. Thank you.